Hello, and welcome to Recap Land. In this video, I will tell you about Metalhead, a dystopian, future sci-fi episode from the series called Black Mirror. Enjoy, and watch out, spoilers ahead. The story begins with our protagonists, Bella, Tony, and Clark, as they drive through a ruined, desolate landscape in their car, passing destroyed vehicles and structures on their way. This shows that the world as we know it has been ravaged by some large-scale disastrous event. They stop and park nearby a seemingly abandoned warehouse. In their car, Clark is afraid and reconsiders getting out of the car, which is a big risk to search the place. We find out they came here looking for something to help Jack, who is very ill. Bella says she doesn't care about the risk, long as it helps reduce Jack's suffering. She also mentions there may be other valuable things in there. They agree, and Tony starts walking towards the warehouse first, and the others follow his lead. Clark splits from the group and breaks into a car nearby, then connects a hacking device to the car. He tries multiple codes with no success, and grows more anxious and fearful with every failure. Inside, we see Tony and Bella. The latter has a code written on her hand, which refers to a certain box stored here. Bella spots it soon, and Tony climbs up to retrieve it. He is shocked to see an odd-looking machine. It detects their presence, and launches an orb which bursts into several tracking shrapnel, stick to Tony's face. Bella also gets hit by one. Tony loses his balance, falling off the stairs, and Bella barely starts running but turns around as Tony hits the ground. The machine transforms into its quadruped form, resembling a dog, and walks down the stairs. Tony tries to attack the dog with no success, and dies, because the dog can shoot bullets from its metal arm. The terrified Bella exits the warehouse, yelling at Clark, who managed to unlock the vehicle, to hit the gas as she runs to her car. They both exit the warehouse in separate vehicles, as the dog pursues them, and it manages to jump into Clark's car. It takes a moment to regain balance after slipping, then dispatches the petrified Clark in one shot. The dog connects itself to the car, gaining control over it, and begins chasing after Bella. It starts ramming the car into Bella's, sending her off the road. She's about to drive over a cliff but saves herself in time. Nearby, the dog exits the vehicle, and starts running towards Bella, and from its POV, we see it is tracking Bella, thanks to the tracker still inside her leg. It hops onto the car, which is barely hanging onto the cliff's edge, and fires one shot to break the glass and enters the car, where Bella uneventfully kicks the dog but manages to exit the car, which falls off the cliff moments later with the dog still inside. She looks from above in relief, and leaves, but soon after, the car begins shaking. Bella approaches a stream, and sits down while thinking of how to remove the tracker in her leg. The dog survived, but its right forearm is stuck under the smashed car's dashboard. It keeps pulling the leg until the end comes off, freeing it. The dog exits the wreck and gets back to hunting Bella. Back at the stream, Bella shakes in fear and pain, as she bites onto a stick and manages to pull out the tracker. She puts it into an empty bottle and tosses it down the stream, creating some distance between her and the dog. Then she stops for a moment, trying to connect with someone on the walkie-talkie. The dog has quickly reached the decoy bottle, which doesn't look like Bella. While thinking of the next step, it taps into the walkie-talkie waves and catches Bella's radio transmission. It triangulates her location and starts pursuing her again. She spots it from a distance and picks up pace. In desperation, she climbs up a large tree and hides using one of its branches as cover. The dog reaches her within a few minutes, and starts looking upwards, easily spotting Bella because she can't keep still because of the adrenaline in her system. The injured dog tries climbing up to Bella but fails, which boosts her spirits and she mocks it in return. Soon enough, the dog goes into rest mode as it can't reach its prey. Then night falls, and Bella is asleep on the tree, but she moves again, and this time nearly falls on the dog, but luckily manages to hang on to the branch below. The dog suddenly activates, but she's able to climb back up and the dog returns to sleep. This time Bella notices a pattern in the dog's behavior. She tosses a candy on it. But again, nothing has changed, so it returns to sleep. And this time Bella starts counting back to measure how the delay between its resting and active state really works. She repeats this until morning, and soon finds out the dog has stopped reacting to sound due to repeated outcome. And it stays in rest this time despite the noise. She takes this opportunity to climb down the tree and runs away. She reaches an enclosure soon. It's guarded with metal walls, but she manages to climb to the other side, hurting her ankle in the process. She finds another car nearby. Unfortunately, it's locked. She then goes up to a house next to the car. From a hole in the door, she spots the key on a table inside. Then she uses an extendable metal rod and manages to get the key out. But none of the keys on it belong to the car. However, one of them unlocks the door and she goes in, continuing her search for car keys. As she rummages through the shelves, she finds and takes 2 shotgun slugs, with no luck on the ground floor. She walks up the stairs and finds 2 rotting, voluntarily lifeless bodies on a bed, whose stench nearly makes her vomit. But, lucky for her, one of the bodies has the car keys. And she also finds a single-barrel shotgun near the bed, reloading it with 1 slug from before, and soon heads towards the washroom. Outside, the dog has caught up to her location. It effortlessly unlocks the metal gate and continues looking for Bella. She's back in the washroom, trying to patch her wounds and clean up a bit. The dog has also entered the house, and it soon finds a knife rack, from which it takes a knife, equips it onto the broken arm and spins it like a drill. This creates noise which alerts Bella, and she hides upstairs as the dog is in search of her. Soon it approaches her hiding spot, when she picks up a paint bucket and throws it on the dog, blinding and disorienting it. She takes this chance to run away to the car, and manages to get inside it. She tries to start the car, but fails and starts despairing. Moments later, back in the house, the dog hears sound coming from the car. It begins following the sound, which is playing from the speakers. As it nears the vehicle, it violently stabs both of the speakers when Bella moves in from the side and shoots it in the head. The dog falls to the side but survives. It regains balance while Bella desperately tries to reload the next slug into the gun. It lunges at her and drills the knife into her leg. But despite the attack, she manages to shoot it again, and this time it falls motionless on the ground. As Bella gets back to her feet, she hears a sound coming from the dog. As a last resort, it launches another sphere full of tracking shrapnel, many of which strike Bella across her body. Moments later, she is back in the washroom again, staring herself in the mirror, dreading the thought of prying all of the shrapnel out of her body and seeing one stuck in her jugular vein. She takes a moment and relays a message through the walkie-talkie. This time she calls to say goodbye to everyone at base because she won't be coming back, and requests anyone who is listening to give a message to Jack, apologizing because she didn't get the replacement like she had promised, and hopes the others will be alright. She attempts to end her own life, but we never see what happens. Outside, across the places where these events happened, several more dogs reach the different scenes and begin collecting data. And in the warehouse, we see the box Clark, Bella, and Tony tried to get, but their effort ended in tragedy. It was a box full of new teddy bears, which they wanted to get for Jack. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification if you enjoyed this video. It means a lot, and really helps the channel. Thank you, and take care.